Believe it or not, I've actually been wanting to talk about this for a while, because I used to have Studio Series Cup, and I kind of bounced off of it pretty quick. Then, on kind of a admittedly impulse buy whim, I ended up getting Buzzworthy Bumblebee's Cup, which is the same figure, but slightly different colors, and the windshield is no longer translucent plastic. And I gotta say, there's just something about Buzzworthy Cup over the Studio Series that really caught my attention, and I can't quite explain why, but I am absolutely very much into Buzzworthy Cup. As you might be able to tell, I also have Reprolabels on this guy, so we're going to talk about that a bit. But yeah, I actually really like this figure a lot, which is weird, also because I know a lot of people hate Cup, like the Studio Series Buzzworthy Cup, but I am not one of those people. I actually really, really like this figure, particularly the Buzzworthy version and with the Reprolabels. I mean, I thought it was really cool before the Reprolabels. I got the Reprolabels because I really liked him, but yeah. Anyway, here's his gun. It stores on his on the side here, and here's the Energon snack dispenser that also stores on the side with a similar slot and peg system, and that's that. And so we'll look at these more when we get to robot mode. Now, the vehicle mode, it is Cup's weird little Cybertronian pickup truck. It looks good. I like the slightly darker greens that they went with overall, and I think with the Reprolabels in particular, this looks great. I love the little bits of color this adds all over the place, like the orange light almost up there and the front there. The bits that you can add, like the tail lights and stuff, and along the back here, the tailgate, or not tailgate, the bed has some nice stuff going on in there, and then the little window back here. And also this black stripe. There are separate stickers you have to use because of how it transforms, but I really like this black stripe going up and around. And then I put in the kind of basic windshield sticker. But yeah, this is a cool figure. I like the transformation, I like the engineering, I like the way it solidly holds together in both modes. The only thing that bums me out about the Reprolabels set, and this is something I found out after the fact, these stickers for the front wheels do not like to stay in place. Like, this is the second or third time that I've taken him off the shelf and transformed him into his vehicle mode, and these were just sitting in his chest cavity and fell out. So I'm probably going to need to glue these in place, which it's not a huge deal, but it is annoying. I wish these held on better. But anyway, Cup's vehicle mode is, I can't explain it. I don't like his vehicle mode in most other figures, but this specific one appeals to me in a way I can't explain. I just think this is cool. I like the contours of it. It's weird. It's got kind of like a 70s concept car vibe, and it just works. And I like these little hits of color all over the place because of the Reprolabels. But that is pretty much all I can say about Cup's vehicle mode, because it's Cup's vehicle mode. So let's move on to how he stacks up with everyone else. Without fail, no matter what I do. So yeah, he's roughly deluxe size. Burnout does seem a bit bigger, but they're roughly about the same weight. I feel like Cup condenses a bit more, which is why he appears a little bit smaller. And it's Cup, specifically a recent deluxe Cup, so he's not gonna be huge, but I think that works for him. Alright, transformation time. I will admit transformation on this guy is a little tricky in places, particularly just with how certain things come together, but I'll try to make it as smooth as I can. So what I prefer to do is get these things taken care of first. So I'll come under here and pull out to disconnect this stuff. It's a little bit There we go. So we want to get this unpegged from there, and then kind of tilt up like this, because it pegs in here too. So by coming at it from this angle, it makes it a little bit easier to unpeg this from that wheel well. So do that, and this also slides very, very slightly. You can kind of see it in there, but you want to pull that out. And just leave that like that for now. And same thing over here. Pull this out. And then tilt it up. And bring that out. Now, okay, gonna split this bit here because we need to unpeg the bed from the fists, and I find it's easier to do it like that. So unpeg that, swing it around, and that will peg into the back, and this can swing down, and this will peg in here. So bring that in, and that cleans that up. Same thing here. Just flip that up, which is a little tricky, but flip that up, pull that out, swing it down, and peg it in. And we are on our way. Now we're going to open up this panel so we can shift this in. You can kind of see how it sits at an angle. Shift that in and peg it back in. And if you look at it from this side, you can see there are two different peg holes at slightly different angles. So there's this one for the vehicle mode and then for the robot mode. So do that, straighten out the leg, flip out what is very obviously the toes, and then swing this down and out of the way a bit. Now I'm going to swing the arms out. Might need to pull down a little bit because this bit actually, this little bit here does actually tab over the panel. You can kind of see it here, how you got to pull down just a little bit to get it past that tab. So swing that out, pull this back, and now we can swing the body up, and this tab here will tab into the midsection, and then this swings forward. Now the wheels will swing in, and this is why I always find these little things on the inside of the body, but those swing in, and then this panel swings down and will clip in to the wheel well sections. That locks all that together. This will fold in and this will fold down, and then this comes up and will tab into the tabs on top of the wheel wells. Plug that in. And that pretty much locks the upper body together, so that's all well and good. And now just to finish the arms, I want to swing this joint in, and it will clip in, and that will give you cups, shoulder discs, and they will peg into the side of the car thing. Windshield? I don't know. So again, bring that down, swing that in, and clip that in, and then peg that into the body. And that's it. There is Buzzworthy Cup with Reprolabels in his robot mode. And again, like, I'm not a Cup fan, and this guy definitely has some weird things going on with his style, but I really like this figure. Particularly with the Reprolabels, I think he looks fantastic. Cleans up pretty nicely too. Really the only bits of kibble you get are the bits back on the calves and then the backpack, but it all like cleans up and compresses really nicely. And of course you see more Reprolabel detail now. Like there's the bits for the toes that were the backs of the truck, but then you also get these fun toy looking shin decals. Some nice sticker variety in the waist section, these little sticker abs. Stickers for the forearms that add some nice orange that works really well with the green. And one of the optional stickers I used was the mom tattoo on the bicep. I just thought it was fun. And the rest is stuff that we saw in vehicle mode. Though there is these stickers that are revealed now too, because this bit was folded up over that in vehicle mode. But yeah, so you get a bit more detail revealed with the stickers and everything else, and I just really like this figure. It's fun. It's fun to mess with. Now the face it's fine. It's Cup. I mean, I'll give it this. It is better than the Thrilling 30, but I never found Cup to be particularly cool looking in terms of head sculpt, but I think this fits. He's got the, from what I can tell, appropriate looking helmet with the weird little cap on top. He looks somewhat grizzled and old and just so tired of all this nonsense. I can relate. It works. It's painted well. They painted the eyes, painted the face. They also painted this bit going along the top and even like the back of the head. They painted that too. So I think a decent amount of love went into the paint scheme on this guy. As for articulation, as we saw with the head, it is on a ball joint, so you can tilt left and right and look up and down a bit, and then of course look left and right. The arms can go up that far and down that far, and then also can rotate 360. Because they're on a bit of an angle, they kind of rotate out and you can't go straight up, but I don't think that's a huge problem. You have bicep swivel. There is a well over 90-degree bend, which is cool. No wrist swivel, unfortunately. I feel like with how all of this has come together and how thick this is, they could have worked a wrist swivel in there, but oh well. Despite how this guy transforms, you do get a waist swivel, which is very cool. You can actually see they specifically have this like bit back here that this armature can sit in vehicle mode, so that's cool that they thought of that. The legs can go in past 90 and out a little bit past 90. They can go forward past 90 and back to about 90. You get a thigh swivel. You get pretty much 90-degree knee bend. And then you also get ankle tilts. And if you really wanted to, you could move the toe up and down. So posability on this guy is pretty decent. And if you decided you didn't like the angle of the shoulder bit, you can just bring it around like that. And that actually makes his shoulder sit a little bit higher. So I don't know if that's something you'd want to do to just kind of change his profile slightly, but it's an option. It doesn't look bad. I believe, though, that this is how it's supposed to be, so I don't know. It's also possible that that's, like robot mode, truck mode, I don't know. And then, of course, there is Cup's Gimmick, which is he comes apart. Everything just pops off. Now, I'm not too worried about the longevity of these joints because they actually, I don't know if they reworked it for the Buzzworthy version or not, but when these go on, it feels like the peg is slightly thinner at the base and widens as it goes out, which makes it harder to just yank these off. So you still get workable swivels, but like you can see, like pulling it, it does not want to come off without some effort. So I think they must have done something to reshape either the peg hole or the peg itself, which is great, because that means you don't have to worry about things popping off when you don't want them to. It's not a gimmick I really plan on using, but it's a thing you can mess around with. And we, of course, come back to his accessories. There is his Energon snack dispenser, which actually does have a little Reprolabel for, 2 Reprolabels actually, for the antenna thing. And I don't really care for this accessory at all, so I generally don't care that much about it having a little antenna thing, but hey, it sets it apart, and you can plug that into his hand, and now he can give Sharkticons snacks. And there is his gun, which I don't know how accurate this is to Cup's regular gun. I don't know if it's like correct or not, but it looks good. The molding's nice, and it pegs into his hand like a Transformer weapon should, and there you can have him all armed up to give robot sharks snacks and then shoot them when they decide they don't want the snacks anymore. So while Cup's vehicle mode was a little bit on the tiny side, in robot mode he does stretch out a fair bit. There's a lot of compacting going on. Like I said, he compresses pretty well when he goes into vehicle mode. I want to say he's just shy of hitting the very tall deluxe range. It's like ever so slightly shorter than Rotor Storm. which I think it actually is kind of a surprise. I don't know that I really paid that much attention to Cup's height before, so yeah, a little bit of a surprise to see he's almost as tall as what I would consider one of the tallest modern deluxes we've gotten. And that's gonna do it for Buzzworthy Cup with Reprolabels, and as I said, this is a figure I can't quite explain why, but I just really, really like him. I think he's really cool. This accessory, take it or leave it, but I actually really do appreciate the transformation and the engineering. The posability is pretty decent. I don't think Cup is a looker, but that's kind of not the point of Cup. But even then, with the Reprolabels, it really pops. Now, these are the Reprolabels that are intended for Studio Series Cup, so as far as I know, there are no Reprolabel sets for Buzzworthy Cup. I don't think that there's really a difference. It's just that the overall tone and colors between the two are a little bit different, and the Buzzworthy version doesn't have a clear plastic windshield. You can kind of see here at the top some of that original windshield, and it is solid. Oh, also, Buzzworthy Cup has little, like, tampographed cracks in a few places, which I guess make him look more old and weathered. You don't really notice them, but they're there. Anyway, very cool figure. I kind of think it's weird that people hate this thing so much, but, you know, to each their own. That is enough about what I think of Buzzworthy Cup and the Reprolabel set intended for Studio Series Cup. What do you all think of this guy? Or the stickers? Or the Studio Series version? Whatever your thoughts, feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. Thank you everybody for watching, and remember, toys are cool, but they're ultimately just toys.